we got to find out about the aftermath of last week where it was all thunderbolts and lightning. Very,
Scary.
very frightening.
Scary.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
That's, of course, what we're going to talk about today here on episode 6 of Jared and Al Watch YOHANE the Parhelion, Sunshine in the Mirror. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Ladium.
Hello.
We are discussing episode number 6 entitled The Harmony of Those Who Are Shy.
Mood.
Shy gals.
I mean, it's like the outsider gals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's essentially what you could have gone with today.
The outsiders look to become the insiders.
There you go.
Yeah, we kick things off at basically picking up from the end of last week's episode where they're hanging out at the stump. They being YOHANE and Mari,
Mm-hmm.
and all the bad things are happening, and they're very scared. And then the bushes are rattling.
I would
Who
be
could it
scared
be?
after all the scary deer that came out
Yes.
last time.
And then Rico just pops up and is like,
Hey.
"Hey, hello." It's very casually.
Very casually. And then we're just, moving on.
Yep. So they meet up in where Rico's staying in her giant book den.
Yep.
And basically just try and have a conversation about, like, what's happening and everything, even though Rico really just wants to look at Lilaps and also Mari's familiars. Get a good study about all what's up with them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
While YOHANE and Mari are trying to get more information about what's happening because, Rico is doing research in the area about the animals and trying to figure out what's going on with the animals in the area since they're also having a bad time with the weird things that are happening currently. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to get all that stuff sorted out. Mari comes up with the idea that they should go see Daya because, she works at the administration bureau. She's going to have a lot of knowledge about, the goings on about Numazu and everything and history and all that sort of stuff. So she could point us in the right direction if we combine all of our resources together and maybe we'll figure something out. Rico is very much just like, I don't really want to do that. And YOHANE's like, hey, look, if you come do this with us, I'll let you study Lilaps for as long as you want. He's like, I'm in. Let's go.
Lilas is like, what?
Hang on a second.
Hey.
So they go to Daya's office and everything and exchange notes and try to figure out what's going on, even though they're not really able to really get a big grasp on exactly what's going on, but they're trying to move in the right direction. Daya scolds them for working alone and going in dangerous places alone.
Mm-hmm.
Rico finds Ruby and just scares the bejesus out of her.
I mean, Ruby is easily startled.
Yes.
But
We
yeah.
do get a piggy.
Piggy Ruby hides behind a vase, a vase.
A giant potted plant.
Yeah. And she ends up pushing it over onto Rico, which you were like, how did Tiny Ruby do that? And it was the power of panic. Which, yeah, I think Ruby could be fueled by the power of panic.
Oh, 100%.
Then we get some cool slow-mo Matrix happening.
Mm-hmm. Mari and YOHANE basically work together to get Rico out of harm's way so he doesn't get squished. Mari grabs Rico out of the way and YOHANE grabs the plant and saves it from being smashed to a billion pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So they're able to do all that, and then Daya basically gives them the job of, hey, continue your research together. Don't do it alone. You goofs.
Be safe.
They leave and everything, and YOHANE and Mari are trying to plan out what to do, and Rico's like, oh, by the way, I gotta leave soon. And they're like, oh, well, when are you leaving? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
What? YOHANE wants to make memories before Rico leaves, and Rico's like, can't do that. Bye, go, bye.
Bye.
So YOHANE is very confused about this, doesn't know really what to do, and Lilaps is kind of like, you're kind of similar, right? Like, she's kind of standoffish right now, and you were kind of standoffish when you first got here, so maybe you gotta figure something out to show her that you can relate to her and all that sort of stuff. And also there's a scene of Mari kind of presumably feeling the same way, and also looking at her secret special book with a picture of a gal with a staff.
That nobody can read.
Yes. So Yohane wakes up the next morning, and Mari's already outside her door, and they're like, "All right, let's go see Riko.
Mhm.
Let's go see her, and hopefully we can change her mind." They go there, and Riko's already like packed up and everything. Like, "Oh, we came to help you clean, but it looks like you already cleaned up. So let's walk you to the station. We'll do that for you." They walk through town. They see a dog that's all sad and not feeling great. They walk by the house of the kid who's also not feeling great because of the stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yohane is like, let's take a detour real quick. We'll go somewhere and hang out for a little bit. So they go and try to do that, and Mari's like, "Where are we going?" Or one of them's like that. And Yohane's like, "I don't know. We're just walking. There's no destination in mind." And Riko essentially here is kind of like describing how she feels like she's an outsider to this place and everything. And the other's like, "Yo, we're also kind of like that too. Like Mari specifically is like that.
Yeah,
She feels
Mari's
that way."
definitely outsider.
So them doing that kind of lets Riko open up, and how she kind of explains how, when she was a kid, she had to move around a lot because of her parents' job and everything. So she decided to kind of like close herself off from people, so she didn't have to constantly like keep saying goodbye to people, and how much that would hurt and everything. She talks about how this one time she found a dog, and she was like, "Oh, this dog was really cool and everything, and I related to it. And then we found the real owner, and I was really sad and lonely. My parents were like, 'You want to get an animal?' I was like, 'No,' even though I was very lonely. But I liked reading about animals, so that I kept doing that, and that's how this all sort of worked out and everything." Which is interesting because, like, essentially it is a callback to Sunshine, where it's essentially kind of like the dog episode in Sunshine, where Yohane and Riko find that dog and they get very attached to it, and then they have to get away because the real owners, they find out who that is, and they're like, "Oh, really sad."
Yeah, they want their dog back.
They want their dog back. So it was just interesting that they kind of like tied that together a little bit.
I do still really like the fact that Riko's completely like opposite in this one, where she's obsessed with dogs.
It's very funny.
It's really funny.
So yeah, they listen to her story, and they're like, "Yo, it's cool. We are also outsiders. We are also shy. We can also come together and be pals and everything."
Also, she says something like, "Listen to my story," and I was like, "Final Fantasy 10."
I also thought that. I was like, "Where's Titus?
Our
This
one
is
shared
my
brain
story."
cell. One shared brain cell.
Yep. That leads us into a song.
Yeah.
It's called "Hey Dear My Friends."
Hmm.
Which is also, it's coincidentally, it is a Guilty Kiss song, but it is not like credited as a Guilty Kiss song.
Right. It's probably just credited as Yohane, Mari, and Riko.
Mm-hmm.
Because Guilty Kiss does not canonically exist in this universe.
It's a very different song compared to what you would expect from these three, for sure.
It's so different. It is not what I expected at all from these three.
No, but it's good. It's interesting. Like, I like to see how they are able to do like a different style in this case compared to like what you are traditionally used to from these three.
Right, and something like that wouldn't have made sense narratively. Like the kinds of songs they normally do, like this kind of like soft friendship type of song makes perfect sense with what they're trying to pull off with this story.
100%.
So, and I mean, like you said, gives them some room to show off some different skills.
For sure. So we get that song, and then afterwards they go off and eat sandwiches. And Riko's like, "This sandwich place is great. I wanted to come show it to you guys." And like Yohane's like, "Well, it's wild that you of all people would show something in Numazu to us."
Yeah. Not so much of an outsider, are you?
Yeah. So they have these sandwiches and they talk, and Yohane's like, "Man, I really want to sing, but I can't sing because the stage is all messed up and everything." That blows. Mari's like, "Don't worry, you'll be able to sing one day again." Also, by the way, we were talking about like the resonance and everything. In my book, there's this story about how, someone takes up the mantle and sings a song that basically like heals the world type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they do that is because they want to sing, and want to have a feeling of wanting to sing and all that sort of stuff. And maybe that's you, Yohane.
Maybe.
And Yohane's like, huh?
Huh?
And they go talk to Daya about this and be like, hey, maybe this is a thing. And Daya's like, all right, cool. We'll make you a new stage. We'll work on it. Don't worry about it and everything. We'll figure it all out. By the way, thank you to all of y'all for doing your work and everything. Mari got all this information, because she has different information from us, and, we've been able to help out and get all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Rico loves animals and is able to help out in that aspect. Yohane is Yohane.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, Ruby's like, you know what we need? We need a girls' night.
That's how it ends.
And that's how we end our episode.
We do get a really good troll face that I'm really excited to see next week.
Yeah, and the preview from Yohane is very good.
It's very good. It's very good. We also, in this episode, got a simply drawn Ruby that was hysterical.
Yes.
I didn't know how else to word it.
She's like hanging on Daya's shoulder, but it's just like far away enough that it just looks very funny.
It looks really good.
It's very good. But yeah, that is our episode this week. Next week we will be discussing episode number 7, which is entitled "What's a Girls' Night?" And then Jerry Seinfeld walks off stage and the bass theme plays.
He can't be part of the girls' night.
Boo 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 boo.
God.
So yeah, girls' night. I wonder how many of the girls are going to show up for girls' night.
I would assume all the girls,
I hope so.
including Lilaps.
Yes, of course. Well, Lila's of course has to be there.
Yeah.
And Mari's Familiar is the one that looks like a helicopter.
I'm telling you, somebody said that, and I was like, I can't unsee it now. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense that her familiar would be a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Very
unsee
good.
it.
So yeah, we'll discuss Girls' Night next week, but that's also going to do it for us this week.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sec.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. And you can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com.
Mm-hmm.
So join us next week as the girls
Girls' night.
have a girls' night.